Lewis, and my topic is about memes and social media. So I noticed that everyone started laughing once I put these pictures up, and I just wanted to ask the audience, like, why do you think these are funny? Like, can someone explain to me what you found funny in these? Like, at least one person.
Actually, my brother sent me that one. Yeah, he sent me that the other day because that really does happen in our house.
Yeah, like, so I've been asking myself the same question for like ever since I started like finding out about memes. So like alright, whatever, I'm gonna keep talking. So either way, I first found out about them like 4 years ago, but I don't think it really started until like when I first got my computer, because I first got a computer like at 9 or 10, and I didn't know anything about the internet. Like I just thought it was a place to play games and stuff. But I never knew what really could come with it, especially later on in the future today where we use it like every day. So the first meme that I ever saw was this, the cat with toast on it. And at first when I saw it, I was like, what is this? Like, what is going on here? Why is there a cat with toast on his face? And I thought it was ridiculous, you know? But then a year later goes on, and then like, there's a whole variety of memes with like cats and like have watermelons on their head. Like, all of a sudden I'm laughing, you know, because I think it's funny. And so for me, I just thought it was really weird, and eventually later on in the future I never knew that it would be so prevalent as it is today. So I want to give a little bit of history about memes. So like there's no like official like first meme, but like one of the ones that were like most popular on a global scale was Kilroy. So the story behind Kilroy was that he was prevalent during everywhere around the world during World War II, and people used to like paint him, you know, with his long nose and looking over a wall. They used to paint him on walls, on like tanks and stuff like that, just as graffiti. And people like even Stalin and Hitler at the time, they thought he was a real person, you know. They thought he was a real person that was trying to find them, but in reality he was just a meme, as we know now. But to be honest, like back then, no one knew why people did this. They just thought it was funny because they didn't expect to see this every day. Next one. So, which brings us to today. This guy, Dan Daniel. Everyone knows him now. Like, I mean, now he's not as popular, but back then it exploded on the internet. At first, it started with him being on Snapchat and being recorded by people, and they thought that was funny. But then, like a week later, he had like 23 million views on all forms of social media, including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that. He was even featured on Ellen. He got on Ellen just by walking around with white vans everywhere. He got free supply of vans for the rest of his life, and people asking why. Why him? You know, like why does he get all these good things happening to him? Like he becomes famous on Twitter and all these things. Well, the answer is the power of social media. So this guy, this is Richard Dawkins, aka the guy who coined the term meme back in the 1970s. He's an evolutionary biologist, and he created the name meme because he thought it sounded like genes. And so genes have a lot of variety nowadays, especially in your DNA. So he decided to describe them because memes propagate themselves from leaping like from brain to brain. And so what that basically means is that like memes are like so like contagious that they basically spread to other places in a lot of varieties, and creating a lot of variation. And so now I did a bit of research, and so. Right here, you're seeing is like a BuzzFeed article, like your typical BuzzFeed article that you see scrolling on Facebook on any given day. You know, I read an article by this guy's name is Jonah Berger. He was a Stanford graduate, and he's a economics major, and he teaches at Wharton right now. And he wrote a book called like on social media's contagiousness. He was talking about how every morning he would wake up and he would go to the New Yorker, not the New Yorker, the Wall Street Journal. You go on the Wall Street Journal and look at the top 5 lists for must-read books, or like top 5 lists for anything else. And he thought that was really interesting because he always clicked on that, even if he didn't want to. And the power of that is that like people are so attracted by numbers and lists like that. People want to be able to like look at these things and see like oh, this is pretty useful, you know, like I can tell people like 30 things to do before they die before the age of 30, you know, like that's something to talk about. So people like BuzzFeed companies, they use these types of lists and like other clickbait things like online quizzes to see which Seinfeld character are you. Like I don't know why which Seinfeld character. I just want to know because it's something I can tell about people, you know. Like I can identify as Kramer, and people would, like, you know, I don't know, they probably say something about that. But really, the reason for this is like it's like a conversation starter. You can like tell people like I identify as Kramer, you know, and like they can have, you know, a whole discussion about it. Or in like the other one about the 30 things to do before you turn the age of 30. It's just something to talk about because you want to tell people other things that you know about and you know, just tell other people. Which brings me to this Harlem Shake. I know everyone remembers the Harlem Shake, and that was like back in 2012. Everyone did it. We even did it in the whole NPR. We even did this. No one even wanted to do this, but you want to know why? Because it was so easy to do. The reason for this popularity of the Harlem Shake was that all you had to do was get a bunch of people in a room and a camera, and that's it. All you had to do is record it, and you'll be fine because you basically just did the Harlem Shake. And the Harlem Shake became so popular, blew up within that year, and people didn't know why. They just thought it was really weird that people were going up to random places dressed in chickens and like orange ninja guys. Like they just thought it was pretty funny. And so there's a book called it's funny because it's called The Meme Machine. This guy Dewey, he explained how memes become really popular with people because the appeal is immediate and understood. You don't have to like look at this for a long time and be like, what's going on, you know? You immediately know what's going on. They're dancing in a room, you know, doing nothing. And so basically that's why this meme blew up, just like others. This is like a prime example of how memes become so popular today in social media. And so there was a research experiment done by, I don't know where they were from, but they did an experiment where they were experimenting with hashtags. And so people found out that like hashtags are like harder to read. They're not really as trendy on like Twitter or something. So when they finally capitalized like NHS, then that's when it was like more trending because people would read that more. People would be able to identify like what is going on instead of like struggling to read, say, the NHS. But really, I think a more important experiment that they did was that they had a group of people and they exposed them to like, I don't know, 200 something memes, and they wanted to tell them like, choose out of all of these, like tell me which ones are you most likely to share and which ones are you most likely to tell about other people. So they found out that shorter memes are 2.8 times more likely to be shared by others on social media and other forms of communication. And they also found out that like memes that were like longer were mostly ignored, and others are like they had like swears or anything, like they were pretty much ignored because they lose a lot of people that they can like share it with. So this is a meme I know a lot of people have been because it's pretty recent, you know. You can talk about this with people, and so the power of memes is that you can be able to like share these kinds of images with others, you know, and you can invoke the same emotion that you feel about something. Yeah, people were pretty mad that OKC choked in the final, but that's why this is beautiful, you know, because people can express how they feel about it in a funny and humorous way, because it appeals to their interests and because it's humorous. So, yeah, here's another picture. This is from 9gag. They're really popular, internet website where they can like share memes and other things like that, and they're able to like share a lot of like pictures and jokes with each other because it's pretty funny, you know. Like, who doesn't want to see something in everyday lives that makes you smile or laugh? Because these things are much more better than seeing sad things on your timeline or anything like you. However, the only bad thing
Oh my god.
some memes are pretty bad. We're all laughing, but it's pretty dark, you know. And so like that's why like memes like this, they're only popular to certain people, and that's why like they're pretty funny, but we don't really talk about that. So to like answer my question like in the short term, memes become popular because they're short, they're memorable, you're able to share your experience with other people because it's funny, you'll be able to share something you can talk about, and you can do things that like like that, I mean Pepe, you know, everyone knows that guy. So like, people can share this with others, you know, share jokes, you know, like it's really fun to be able to be with other people and express the same feelings that you feel, especially like being happy and other things that like appeals to their interest and your humor. Like if you find something interesting that you think it's really funny, then you would most likely share it because you're trying to create a shared experience where you both enjoy the same things. So, that's it.